Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shauna Danielle, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieved this hairstyle. Shout out to Olive Chels, who inspired this look by two of her hairstyles basically combined into one. So stay tuned in this video to see how I did this. So I'm starting off with freshly washed hair. Washed it and deep conditioned it, and I dried it with a blow dryer, but I didn't fully blow it out. I just dried it. So it's still a little bit damp, but dry enough. So I'm going to start by sectioning my hair out from ear to ear and trying to make it as straight as I possibly can. It's very difficult when you can't really see what you're doing. So I realized here that my hair was very not sectioned straight. So I went and got my sister to do it, and now it's pretty straight enough. So now I am parting my hair in the back. It's a straight line down the middle. And it is awful. So again, I went to get my sister to do it. So hopefully you can have some type of help, because I couldn't do it by myself. So now I'm just gonna section each side of the back of my hair into three. So I'm starting off like I'm gonna do one side at a time. So I'm sectioning the bottom third on the first side. Okay, so I'm just going to comb out my hair to make sure that it's not tangled, and I'm using a rubber band and my Myel edge control, which I love this edge control. So I'm just putting that at the base of what's gonna be like the hair that's going into the rubber band, so that it looks sleek and it all just, you know, pulls into the rubber band nicely. And then I'm just pulling the hair through to make sure that it's tight. Now moving on to the next side. Instead of doing one side and then the whole next side. So I'm using my mirror to look at the back of my head to make sure that I'm doing it straight enough. And it's not really going to be that perfect if you're doing it yourself. You're going to have to keep adjusting it. But that's okay, and you can ask people for help. At this point I was really hot, so I had to take off my sweatshirt. So yeah. So I'm doing the same thing again, putting the edge control on the base of the hair that's going to be in the ponytail and the rubber band. And I'm just using my toothbrush that I use for my edges to just brush it all into place, and then pulling the rubber band. So I'm noticing that they're pretty much the same. So I'm moving on to the second third of the first side. I'm brushing the base as well so that it's sleek into the rubber band. And I'm getting my rubber band ready, and I'm getting that hair kind of out of the way. And now I'm going to use the bottom ponytail, and I'm going to just twist it and twirl it around my finger so that it's like just a twirl twist kind of thing. And then I'm just going to add it to the hair that's going into the rubber band. This is very difficult to do, like the back of your head and not really see what you're doing. It's very difficult. But it's gonna all work out. I think I was getting very discouraged at this point and just annoyed. So I got my next section on the second side and I'm twirling that bottom piece again around my finger. And making sure not to grab any of the hair from any other section. And then I'm just going to add it to that top section and then put my rubber band around. Okay, now moving on to the top third. I actually was planning to do it in fourths, but I was getting so frustrated and annoyed and I really just wanted to be finished. So this top third piece is the biggest piece. But that's okay. I'm just going to take the bottom two that's combined into one and then make one big twirl and then add it to that top section. This whole process is pretty tedious and just, it gets very frustrating because you can't see what you're doing and it's just annoying. And you use a lot of muscle because your arms are up the whole time. So again, one last time, I'm putting the edge control at the base and then twirling the bottom piece around my finger, and then I'm going to add it to that top section. Now moving on to the top half of my head, I'm using the Mielle Organic hair milk to just moisturize my hair and make it a little bit softer, because at this point my hair was like out to the air and it was getting hard because I'm 4B, 4C and it's just not easy. So now I'm also going to use a spray bottle of water. It's just water, again to just soften it out and just make it easier for the gel to work. So I'm using the Eco Styler Argan Oil Gel and I'm just putting it all around the whole perimeter of the top half of my head. And I apologize that there's going to be certain parts that I'm like out of the camera because I was trying to go closer to the mirror to see what I was doing. But you get the gist. I'm just putting the gel around my hair. And I'm going to use a hard bristle brush. Almost forgot to get my scrunchie. So I'm just brushing it up and trying to swoop the sides a little bit. I'm so sorry that this is not in the camera. So I'm just tying that top part with my ponytail scrunchie. I'm just taking out tiny sections on the side of my head and making it curly. I think it's just a cute look. And I'm using my edge control on the top of like my ponytail just to make it more sleek. And I'm putting some water in my hands and putting it on like the back puffs kind of to make it smoother. And I'm gonna section those back two puffs into two, like divide it into two pieces and do the little twirl thing again and use a pin to just stick it up there just so while I work on the other pieces. So again, with the next side, wetting it with water, dividing the piece into two, and just twirling each part. And just sticking it up there with a pin. And of course here I noticed that some of them were falling down, which is frustrating. But I mean, the clip that's holding it is not really holding it that tightly, so I can't really expect anything else. So because they were gonna all just keep falling, I decided to just have a scrunchie in my hand prepared and just one by one twirl each piece around and then add it to my ponytail. So you're gonna see it right now. So just taking one of the pieces, twirling it and adding it to the ponytail. And now I have my scrunchie in my hand and I'm just securing it all together into one. And now I'm just going to make a bun with my puff. Now here I am noticing that the part on my left side is just not as defined as the other part. So it just looks like it's two parts on that side and three on the other. So I kind of have to do it again. But I did it again off camera, and now I'm just going to move on to adding the piece onto my bun. So I used some crochet hair that I got at the beauty supply store, and I'm just combing it out so that it looks a little more frizzy and like real instead of perfect curls. So I'm just going to take one end of the crochet hair and wrap it around my real bun, and then wrap the rest of the crochet hair around the whole bun, but loosely so that it looks real. It's not just tightly put together. I'm taking small strands out of the hair also so that it looks a little bit messy, because I prefer the messy look. So I'm just going to cut some pieces and just make it hang out. And this portion consisted of me just doing my edges really quickly. And now moving back onto the bun to make it look a little bit messier or clean it up or just whatever. You kind of have to play with it to see what you like. And this is what it's looking like. I wanted to add some hair jewelry just to make it stand out a little bit more, but this is completely optional. So I'm using some rings, some clips, you know, things of that nature. I'm going to go ahead and lay my hair with my silk head tie. And I'm going to use my St. Lucian flag, yes I'm St. Lucian, to go ahead and kind of lay the back of it and then again the front of it so that the bun is kind of secured and not just moving around throughout the night. And now it's the next day and I can unwrap everything. And I think it looks really, really good. The front of my bun is sleek. My bun looks messy but still put together. The back is all jeweled up and my parts are like visible. And I think it was a really, really good look. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for new content. I hope to see you all again soon.